It's a major economic and political prize for Prince George's. The new FBI headquarters is coming to Greenbelt. The story next on CTV News Tonight.
And after a lot of work, we are so satisfied that the GSA confirmed what we already knew, was that Prince George's County sites were superior sites from an objective standpoint.
A big win for Prince George's. Good evening. This is CTV News. I'm Byron Scott. Well, after years of back and forth between Maryland and Virginia, it's now official. Prince George's County has been chosen for the new home of the FBI. This is the site adjacent to the Greenbelt Metro Station. The General Services Administration announced its decision last night. As we said, it was a years-long battle that began in 2005 when the FBI indicated it had outgrown its D.C. facility. The list began with 35 sites, with Maryland making it to the short list.
The Greenbelt site was the superior site, and that was decided based on cost, timeline, and sustainability. And these were the factors that we always argued. So this decision was the right decision. It was always going to be the right decision. Was that our sites were objectively the strongest sites, and the GSA decided that, and we are so satisfied that this is transformational. This is an economic, a once-in-a-generation economic opportunity for Prince George's County that will quite literally change Prince George's County's economy really for decades to come.
It saves, federal taxpayers between $1 billion and $1.5 billion to build it here as opposed to in Virginia. The site's clear so they can start construction here in Maryland, unlike in Virginia. It's a win-win all the way around. So I think it was the right move to make. GSA made the right decision, and I think federal taxpayers should be happy with the way that the decision was made.
Now, this all comes as FBI Director Christopher Wray announces he could not accept the decision, calling the process politically fraught and fatally flawed. The Virginia delegation is calling for a reversal of the decision. Up next is getting congressional funding. And our region continues to honor its military veterans. Mount Rainier has an event set for tomorrow. A flag ceremony and brunch is set for tomorrow morning at the Mount Rainier Police Station. There are some 200 veterans living in the city, 60,000 in Prince George's overall. The flag ceremony and brunch is a free event for the vets. The mayor says it's a way to give thanks.
I think that at the end of the day, there's many people that risk the safety of our cities, and the veterans happen to do that, whether they're retired, whether veterans when they're active duty, right? We also welcome them because they pay the highest sacrifice when it comes to the freedom of this country. And at the same time, we want to make sure that we acknowledge them locally. I think for many years, sometimes they are dismissed. A lot of our residents are people of color, right? They're Latinos and African Americans and Asians, so it's also good for us to bring them together to showcase that through many generations, far back from the First War, they have been there in the front lines defending freedom and defending our communities.
Again, the event set for tomorrow from 10 to noon at the Mount Rainier Police Station at 3249 Rhode Island Avenue. Well, National Harbor also celebrating veterans this weekend. Spear Park will be busy with activities all day on Saturday. The festivities will commemorate the park's one-year anniversary with a walk-run, the sealing of a Patriots Value time capsule, and a performance by the U.S. Air Force Band.
2:45, the United States Air Force Band is going to be performing, and it's free and it's open to everyone. We'd love to honor our veterans out there that day, and that's for about an hour. We have some other ceremonies going on. And then the best part, I think, is holidays. Our holiday season starts Saturday night with our first tree lighting at 5:30. The United States Air Force Band actually had already recorded a holiday medley. So that will be playing during the tree light show. It coordinates with the animation that goes on with the tree. And then at 5:33, we have our holiday fireworks. Every Saturday night we do fireworks. And this week it will be red, white, and blue, patriotic for Veterans Day.
For more information, visit nationalharbor.com/events. Well, a pedestrian was struck and killed on St. Barnabas Road early this morning. It happened at around 3 o'clock. The responding officers found a male on the roadway at that time. He was pronounced dead later at a local hospital. Investigators say the striking vehicle did stay on the scene. Anyone who may have information is asked to contact police. And Prince George's police are investigating an armed carjacking of a UPS truck in Glenarden. It happened just before 2 this afternoon on the 900 block of Elk Avenue. This is video captured by a home security camera. Investigators say 2 vehicles boxed in the vehicle, stopping it before kicking the driver out of the truck and taking it. The vehicle that boxed her in followed the truck as it fled. The UPS truck was located nearby a short while later. Police are still looking for the carjackers. Anyone with information is asked to contact police. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Byron Scott. Coming up, a local jurisdiction will be reckoning with its past this Veterans Day. All the details after the break. Stay tuned.
Hip-hop is an art form.
But it's more than that.
It's the consciousness of people.
And with that
Comes responsibility.
Today,
all across the country,
Hospitals and insurers
hide their prices.
and it's creating fear.
Debt.
and devastation all over this country.
We need actual prices in healthcare,
Not averages.
not estimates.
We need real prices.
We ask
our elected officials
to do better.
we demand prices.
And transparency in healthcare.
power to the patients.
Welcome back. A man is dead and another injured after a shooting at Camp Springs last night. Officers were called to Auth Road at around 9:45. That's where they found 24-year-old Anthony Roberts in the roadway suffering from gunshot wounds. He was found dead at the scene. The surviving victim was hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries. So far, no suspects have been identified. The motive is unknown. Well, Montgomery County leaders plan to honor 2 men who were lynched in Rockville back in the late 1800s. The county's Commission on Remembrance and Reconciliation will host a marker dedication ceremony this Saturday, November 11th. The markers will honor the lives of John Diggs Dorsey, who was lynched in 1880, and Sidney Randolph, who was lynched in 1896. Organizers say both men were jailed at the old county jail, which is now the site of the council building on Maryland Avenue. In both instances, the men were taken from the jail by a mob and lynched afterwards. Their bodies were paraded around the streets of Rockville.
The month of November is our Remembrance and Reconciliation Month. Throughout the month, there are a series of activities that, again, pay tribute to and respect for those incidents that occurred many, many years ago in our county. And so this day on November 11th will be a chance then to have a very special recognition of the installation of these historical markers, and that's the significance of it. And here's the thing we'll make sure they're real clear about is that there were people who knew and did not say anything. And even today, there's not been justice done for those 2 men.
The ceremony will take place in front of the County Council building at 100 Maryland Avenue this Saturday at 2:00 p.m. Well, the Maryland Office of the Chief Medical Examiner is revamping how it handles autopsies of those who die in police custody. It's part of a settlement agreement with the family of Anton Black, the black teenager who died 5 years ago during an encounter with police. Under the agreement, the state will also pay $250,000 to the family and lawyers. The settlement requires the office to adhere to the National Association of Medical Examiners guidelines. The Maryland Board of Public Works approved that deal. And Prince George's County Community College will host a free medical clinic this Saturday and Sunday. The Remote Area Medical, or RAM Clinic, is a nonprofit provider of pop-up clinics that deliver free dental, vision, and medical care. Services include dental cleanings, eye exams, general medical exams, and physicals.
We're focusing on mental health, we're focusing on opioid addiction, and we are focusing on making sure that we support the county executive and all of the state of Maryland in creating a healthy Maryland and a healthy Prince George's.
On Saturday, we're going to start at 6 a.m. Our parking lot actually opens for a waiting space as early as midnight on Friday. So you can start coming early. The first client will be seen at 6 o'clock, and we'll work all day until we have capacity met. And the same thing on Sunday, 6 a.m. is when we'll start, and we'll work till we are at our capacity.
Again, the clinics are free and will take place this weekend. And now Simon Buggs has a preview of the Thursday sports page.
What's going on, sports fans? And coming up on your Thursday sports page, UMD head football coach Mike Loxley touches on the team's upcoming matchup against Nebraska. That and more coming up soon. Don't go anywhere.
I'm Belinda, and this is Willard, and we were adopted in 2021. When we first met Todd, he was singing a song, and I was like, wow, look at this kid with the biggest smile, and he has a big heart to match.
The energy you give Todd, you get it back from Todd.
Yeah.
Todd's a joy.
Yes,
Todd
he is.
really is a great joy.
I love him. And you.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org.
November is Hospice and Palliative Care Month. Tonight, Hospice of the Chesapeake will host a community roundtable with community and county leaders and medical professionals. The event will focus on dispelling myths of end-of-life care. The moderator of the event says hospice care focuses on increasing the quality of life for someone who is extremely ill.
Hospice essentially brings the support you need so that you can spend your time, the remainder of your life, at home surrounded by your loved ones. So the goal is to manage symptoms, to bring the social support. They can bring in home health aides to help with general care like bathing, to give your family respite, so you're not focused on running to doctor's appointments. And ultimately, patients who enroll in hospice, they live longer and they live better lives because they have the support that they need to age in place with dignity.
The event takes place at Bowie State University in the Student Center from 6 to 8 p.m.
Okay, everyone, it's time for your Thursday sports page. We'll start with some college hoops news. The Bowie State women's basketball squad has 6 freshmen who are all looking to help their team get back to the CIAA tournament. And head coach Shade Swan admires how hard they're working to be the best players they can be.
Just their willingness to get better. A lot of times when you have freshmen, they come in and they're kind of hesitant because they're new to the bunch. But the group that we have, they've come in and they fit right in. They aren't practicing as freshmen. They haven't played in our scrimmages as freshmen. They've come in, they've accepted their role, and they're pretty much living up to the challenges.
Moving on to college football, the Terps will be looking to avoid 5 straight losses this weekend when they take the field against Nebraska. But getting a win won't be easy due to the challenges the Cornhuskers pose offensively and defensively.
From what I've seen coverage-wise, they play cover 1, cover 2, cover 3, and they play hard. I think that's their biggest thing, and they keep a lot of stuff in front of them, and they play hard. And if you look at most of their games are low-scoring games, and I think that's the biggest thing. They play hard and they play together. They don't make a lot of mistakes as a defense.
On offense, I've seen an offense that's gotten better and better with each week. When you watch them on tape, obviously they've made the change at the quarterback position, and the kids playing fairly well for them from the standpoint of executing the things that they want to see get executed. They've got a really good offensive line, really good length and size on both tackles, especially the right side of the line where they bring back a lot of experience.
Kickoff is on Saturday at noon. And that is your Thursday sports page. Simon Buggs, CTV Sports.
Thank you, Simon. Now we have some bittersweet news to report. For 33 years, Curtis Crutchfield has been sitting at the helm as the news director of CTV News, and today marks the end of an era as he's ending this chapter at CTV. Crutchfield, seen there, is a Howard University graduate. He came to CTV News during or after working in the communication department for then County Executive Paris Glendenning. For many years, you can catch him here on the anchor desk as well. Within his 3 decades as news director, Curtis has had a significant impact in the professional development of many journalists, photojournalists, and producers now working in newsrooms across the country. And he joins us now. Any recollections? I'm thinking you were down to Katrina.
Yes, bittersweet. Why do you say bittersweet?
Want you to stay?
I don't think so. I don't think so. My time is up.
Any recollections on? I know that you covered Katrina, the hurricane.
Yeah. So we went down on the 1-year anniversary, and that devastation, seeing it up close in person, it was just surreal. I can't imagine people having lived through that, died through that. It was just something to see.
Any other recollections?
A lot. You talk about Katrina. 1 week after 9/11, I went up with Darcy Spencer, Dave Goldman, and I believe Erica Singleton at that time. And what I recall as we approached the city, maybe a half mile outside of the city, you could still see smoke billowing. And a week afterwards, and that startled me. And I can recall as we went down to Ground Zero, we were there for about 2 or 3 days in New York covering various stories. I can remember the toxic smell, the stench. I'll always remember that.
So what's next? Fishing, hiking?
I don't fish, maybe a little hunting, but no, not that. I plan to do a little traveling, plan to do some freelance work here and there, and as I've been telling a lot of, I don't think so. I don't think some people would want me back anyway. I've been telling a lot of people, quote unquote, I'm going to do me. So whatever I want to. I plan on taking some gardening classes. I'm trying to find a local chess club too. And I'll probably continue to coach baseball. As you know, I'm an avid sports fan, baseball fan. In the last 5-6 years, I've been coaching Little League baseball. I'm sure I'll continue to do that.
Okay, Mr. Crutchfield, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
All right. And that's our news for tonight. I'm Byron Scott. Join us on Monday. We leave you with some Curtis Crutchfield's greatest hits. Good night.
Prince George's Today, the evening news live at 5:30.
Good evening. This is CTV News. Curtis Crutchfield reporting. Budget day in Prince George's. Good evening. This is CTV News. I'm Curtis Crutchfield.
And I'm Tori Silver. Thanks for joining us this evening.
And now, CTV News with Stacy Cohan, Curtis Crutchfield, and Dave Goldman. Live at 5:30.
Mother Nature roars. Good evening. I'm Stacy Cohan.
And I'm Curtis Crutchfield. A tornado and flash flood watch for the Washington region. That's our top story tonight. Here's Nestle Caracas with details. From 1950 to 1953, more than 1 million American soldiers fought in the Korean War and more than 50,000 lost their lives. Today, they were remembered as the nation dedicated the Korean War Veterans Memorial. Lunchtime is too often a time when businessmen and women load up on calories and return to work with less energy. But a program in Greenbelt hopes to change this cycle by offering a fast break in place of fast food. Dave.
Hey, sir.
Sports, Thursday sports page. You're back out at the golf links today.
Yep. Also got baseball, sir.
No.
And yeah, I think leave the room. I tell you this Oh no, I tell you to leave the room every night at this time.
And coming up later on the news, the Wednesday Crime Solvers Report. Be all they can be with high school prep. As Holly Hare reports, Ratsville High School has a unique program that's helping students succeed. There is Hope. It's a nonprofit group that helps local residents pave the way to higher education. There is Hope President and founder Anthony Corum joins us tonight. Mr. Corum, we thank you very much for stopping by CTV.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us about your group, There is Hope. Unusual name, prophetic name perhaps?
That's a pretty short career.
That's a pretty quick.
You had a pretty good NBA career though, right?
That's right, a little longer than one, yes. Was much better than one game.
All right,
as a player, I should say.
Yes.
Okay. All
right. Community calendar?
Sure, why not?
Weather, actually, I'm sorry. Let's look at your weather forecast. You have that?
Well, sure. I'll be happy to give the weather forecast this evening.
Governor-elect Robert Ehrlich says he'll support legislation that would allow charter schools here in Maryland. During a press conference in Annapolis this morning, supporters said with Ehrlich's backing, they think the bill will pass. Thank you, Heather. Heather McBride reporting live from police headquarters. And that is your news for this Friday. I beg your pardon, we have some weather to give you and a calendar. We will dance the night away, yes we will, at Suitland High School on your Friday community calendar. And now we will close tonight. As we bid you adieu on this Friday the 13th, we leave you with a pearl of wisdom from Yolanda Young, author of On Our Way to Beautiful. Good night. Partly cloudy, highs around 74. Looks like a good holiday weekend.
Yeah.
And that looks like a good night. Take care. And that is your news for this Thursday, July 27th. I'm Curtis Crutchfield. For Dave Goldman and the entire CTV News team, you have a good night.
If the time comes, be ready. Learn CPR and join the nation of lifesavers. Nearly 3 out of 4 cardiac arrests that don't happen in hospitals happen in homes. CPR saved my life. I've teamed up with the American Heart Association as the national ambassador to help create a nation of lifesavers, turning bystanders into lifesavers through CPR education and access to AEDs. Join me to ensure everyone has the chance to live longer, healthier lives. Visit heart.org/nation.